Okay, I know my room is messy, but I'm too lazy to clean it up, so yeah, this is just gonna be the background. So today I want to talk about um, how the elections turned out and what I feel about it because I have more of an I'm gonna take a more unbiased kind of route and kind of think about how, like, not to bash Hillary or Trump or to take a more neutral side because all my friends have been really polar with their, oh, I hate Trump, oh, I hate Hillary, oh, I'm really glad Trump won, or I'm really pissed that Trump won. And what I think is, I think it, regardless of um, whether or not Trump or Hillary won, regardless if Hillary was our president, uh, things would be really bad even if Hillary won. Maybe not to the same magnitude, maybe not the same way, but the country would be divided as a whole anyway. Would still be very divided. We would not be like, hey, it's cool. Um let's just like accept that she's the president or whatever, right? Because all the Trump supporters would still be super pissed at Hillary's, like how the Hillary supporters are now that Trump won. And this, I think, this is mainly caused because of how unpopular these candidates were, because how unpopular they were um, from their own political party, right? Because all the Democrats wanted Bernie, and so Hillary became super popular, and Trump was really unpopular because of very obvious reasons. But because they were so unpopular, uh, they had they had to kind of they started selling themselves as pick me because the other person is so bad that you don't like that if you don't pick me, they're gonna be president. And even though I'm bad, I'm not as bad as the other person, which created a rift between these two candidates that we've never had before. We've never had any election where the majority of candidates from one side would say if we if um if we have the other candidate, this whole country would be over. This whole like United States of America would be over. It's never happened. And so because of this election, all the Trump supporters have sighed of relief, and the Hillary supporters are up in arms. And it's like, what the hell's happened? No, we're gonna die. We're gonna need to move out of the country. And the same would have happened vice versa. Trump supporters would have freaked out. Hillary supporters would have had a sigh of relief. And even if, right, even if something would have, even if everything would have been fine, um, if Hillary got elected, even if we came together, I think this is sort of a blessing in disguise. I want to say, I'm really because uh, it shows the ugliness in our country. It shows how bad we like how what we really think, what a lot of people really think. And people might say, "Oh, that sucks." But if right, if you are inherently have these feelings and you don't know about it, you can't fix it, right? If it's just tucked in again for another 4 years, you really can't fix it. Like especially things like Black Lives Matter, right? If these like if if the coverage was never it was always happening. We That was always happening throughout history, but because we put it to light, we were able to do stuff about it. We were able to advocate for the cause like we've never like if we've never saw it, if it was never put on the media, we would have never had something to we would have never known about it. A lot of people would have never known about it, and we would have never had this um, support where everyone felt that it was something we needed to address on a scale of the entire country advocating for it. So I think, yeah, it is. I think it's good in the sense that now that it's out there, we need we know that we gotta address it instead of not knowing it's there, but because it's not really put out, that we don't really have to address it, or even some people don't know that it's out there. So this is put on their minds that, yo, this is out there. We have to address it because we're not perfect. Because people are constantly thinking, we're going in the right direction. We're moving a step forward, moving a step forward. But this shows that we aren't moving forward. That we're staying at the same place. Because people say because it's revealed that we're moving a step back. I don't think so. I think it shows that we're still in the same place because regardless of whether or not Trump would won if Trump ran for president, it shows that like it would have still been there regardless, whether or not it's tucked in, whether or not it's let out, whether or not it's set out. It's there because we all have our own prejudices, whether or not we say it or not. Because whether or not you say your prejudices does not make you a better or worse person. It doesn't. Maybe it affects the other person because they're hurt because of it, but just because you're like, oh, that Asian needs to go back to the country, or that black person is gonna beat me up, or that Mexican shouldn't be here because he must be an illegal immigrant, which is all thoughts that a lot of people have, but they don't say it because they know it's wrong, but they have it regardless. And the people that just say it out loud are just people who feel more strongly and feel more compelled about their thoughts and believe that it's actually what should happen, because we all have our own prejudices. We all judge a book by their cover, and even though we might not say it, that doesn't mean we're any better because we don't say it, even because a lot of us do feel it, at least every once in a while, right? Because I feel like even I judge my own race. I feel like I judge my own race. Maybe it's through my culture. Maybe like I feel like, especially in like due to this, because I feel like I get judged because I generalize a lot, but my friends tell me that I generalize a lot. They're like always point out that I generalize a lot, but this shows that regardless of whether or not you're a Trump supporter or a Hillary supporter, everyone generalizes. everyone's like, oh, like all the Hillary supporters are like, oh, if you're a Trump supporter, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want, like, just stop talking to me. I don't want to be your friend. And I think it shows that because I took a little bit of research after the election to see why people voted for whatever, voted for Trump, voted for Hillary, and I did more research on, instead of just listening to what the media told me, instead of listening to what um, the internet told me, I took it upon myself to kind of research why Trump won, why Hillary had supporters, why people voted for both sides, and I realized stuff about each other that kind of that makes sense, and it made sense to me why um, Hillary what had supporters, why Trump won, and I also realized that people don't hear each other enough. They have this premonition, they have this disposition of what what they know, what they want to hear, what they already have. They already have this bias in hand, and then they're only talking to people to reaffirm the bias, and they're not seeking to uh, seeking to kind of have a discussion. So I guess that one thing that we can do is to try to have those conversations, to have, maybe talk to someone who's not, who voted for Trump, who voted for Hillary, um who didn't kind of vote on vote on the same candidate, who vote for the same candidate, and genuinely try to understand them, genuinely try to have them convince you on why a candidate is viable to vote for, why they voted for a candidate, why it is okay to vote for that candidate, instead of placing them under this, oh, you must be racist because you voted for Trump, oh, you must be this way because you voted for Hillary, which, like, is very bad for the country as a whole. Like, I get that, like, there are people that voted, if there are racist people who voted for Trump there, but, like, you have to understand that just because there are people that are like that, that doesn't mean everyone is like that. And just because, right, there are super, like, corporate, like, there's, like, the executives voting for Hillary who don't really care about the poor, doesn't mean that all of Hillary's supporters are like that. So I basically, what I try to say is that people need to start conversations. We need to start talking. We need to kind of talk to people about why we voted for each other, and hear each other out, instead of just going to hold on. Instead of going to kind of um instead of assuming what people are like because they voted for each other, and which is a little bit annoying, because I'm trying to, especially when my friends talk about it, uh I'm trying to side as, I'm trying to be a neutral. I'm trying to take a neutral standpoint, and because of that, I'm getting bashed because they're saying that I don't feel strongly enough, which I've tried to understand everyone, but because of that, because they feel so strongly, they bash me because of my views of that I don't feel strongly enough about one side or another. So yeah, this video already is very long, so I'm not gonna talk anymore. But I guess Tell me what you feel in the comments below. Try not to have arguments. I guess you guys can have like conversations. Try to hear each other out and don't get too messy down there.